This woman is the perfect wife for many men. Named Jennifer, she is devoted to her husband and, without complaining, does all the housework. Meanwhile, Lucas watches television in peace and quiet, until his cell phone rings. He, in a curious hurry, answers it and, after a few seconds looking at the screen, informs his wife that he is going to his room because there is an important call from work. Lucas comes into the room grumbling, saying, opening quotation marks, "I told her not to call me." Who is on the other end of the line is a woman named Amanda. He scolds her for insisting on calling at this hour. The unfaithful husband, however, did not expect that his betrayed wife would be listening through the door. To his mistress, he emphasizes that they can only talk when he calls, as these will be times when Jennifer will be distant. Afraid that his wife will get suspicious, he seems nervous and impatient, but arranges to get ready to meet his secret girlfriend. He asks her to wait patiently at the arranged place and the two say goodbye, listening intently. His wife moves away from the door so that he doesn't know that she has found out everything. The cynical man lies to his wife claiming that the company staff called and it will be necessary for him to go there immediately. She points out that she has just prepared lunch, but he comments that there won't be time and asks her to put it in the fridge. He says he believes it won't take long, but first he needs to get ready properly. Hours later. 4 hours later, the man returns to the house. He greets his wife, however without a hug or kiss. Lucas hints that he is tired, which is why she wonders if he is hungry. But he, who should only have gone to the company to resolve something urgent, argues that he is not hungry. He tells her that he will go to his room to rest for a while. She doesn't try to convince him to do something different. It is difficult for her to keep her composure despite knowing that her husband is an unfaithful man who lies to her without trouble. A few minutes later, she goes to the room where he is sleeping and slowly picks up Lucas' cell phone. He moves on the bed and she is afraid of being caught, but keeps calm and finally picks up the device he uses to communicate with his secret girlfriend. Jennifer leaves the room as quickly as she can before he wakes up, sitting on the couch in the living room. She reads the inappropriate conversations he exchanges with the other woman. She repeatedly tells herself that she does not believe that she is in fact being betrayed, but assures herself that things will not stay like that. Lucas will pay for having done what he did. Minutes later. The unfaithful husband was still asleep, but he stirs a little and realizes that his cell phone is no longer in the position he had left it before falling asleep. Where is my phone? He asks himself, already desperate that the worst has happened. He gets up in a hurry and goes to the living room. There he meets with his wife and wonders if she has seen where his cell phone is. Jennifer wonders why he is so frightened. Having said that, she shows him that yes, she has taken his cell phone. She confirms that she saw what he was trying so hard to hide. She saw absolutely everything on his phone, especially the chat apps, and was impressed, obviously in a negative way. She discovered that his betrayal was not only with a woman. In fact, in the last few months he has been talking to several women. Jennifer asks how he has the courage to do this to her after the two of them have been married for so many years. She, more than he, has given up a lot to be in this relationship, and yet he has repaid her by being unfaithful with several women. Lucas is a cowardly man. He orders his wife to shut up and confesses that he is tired of the marriage and of her. He says that the relationship between the two of them is worn out, consuming him. The man announces that he wants to divorce Jennifer. She inquires if he is sure he wants a divorce. Upon getting confirmation from her soon-to-be ex-husband, she demands that he go to his room. Before doing so, she points her finger at him and predicts that in the not-so-distant future he will regret this decision. As she makes this prediction, she shouts for him to go to the room immediately and finally leave. Even knowing the true character of the man she married, living this situation is not easy for Jennifer. In the bedroom, he talks to himself that it is time to leave this house and start a new life. He belittles the wife and celebrates that there are several women interested in him. With his bags packed, he doesn't hesitate to leave the home that has sheltered him for so many years. Goodbye, he shouts before opening the door and leaving for good. Lucas has abandoned his wife to live with the mistress. 1 year later, Lucas returns to the house he abandoned a year ago, now with a baby on his lap. Jennifer is confused when she hears the doorbell, since she wasn't expecting anyone today. The man tells the baby that only she can help them. As soon as she opens the door, the woman asks what Lucas is doing there, even more so carrying such a small baby. He reveals that this is his newborn son. In a very different tone than last year, he wonders if it would be possible for him to come in so that the two can talk. Before Jennifer wants to know what happened, he will explain, but requests that it be inside the house. The woman emphasizes that she will let him in only for the sake of the child, because if it were up to her, he would stay in the cold on the street. The man thanks her for this and enters the apartment that was once his. Sitting on the sofa, she asks him what he would like to talk about. Lucas begins the story, of course, from the beginning. A year ago, he began dating a woman, they had a child, and when the baby was born, they decided to start living together in her house. Because of the difficult birth, she had some health complications and unfortunately was not able to recover. When the two were together, her family did not approve of the woman's relationship with Lucas. So when she could not resist the illness, they demanded that he leave the house, even though he had to take care of the baby. With no one from his family in town, the only person that came to mind was Jennifer. Only she can help him at this moment. Lucas says he understands that he made a mistake, but he has nowhere else to go, and he refuses to let his son suffer on the streets. Can you help us? He pleads with all the humility of a desperate father. The woman begins her speech by teaching him that everything that is done in this life we receive back, whether it is good or bad. A year ago, when he left, she warned him that he would regret that unthinking decision. Despite her advice and warning, he didn't hesitate to leave her. He wanted to start a new life. Now, a short time later, he is in this situation. Jennifer is sorry for what happened to the baby's mother. She is sad to see that a baby has to go through all this. Then, showing herself to be a person of character, she decides to help the man who once betrayed her. Lucas thanks her for her kindness and makes it clear that he intends to stay at her house until he gets a job. He promises that when he gets a job, he will leave as soon as possible, because his intention is not to bother her in any way. Lucas' ex-wife points out that she will agree to help him take care of the baby, but refuses to allow him to stay. She promises that she will take care of the baby. Jennifer undertakes to buy everything that is necessary and will treat him as if he were her own son, but, nevertheless, Lucas will need to find another place to stay. She understands that he is desperate. That, though, does not mean that she will forgive and erase what he did just over 1 year ago. He thanks her and accepts the conditions she imposes. What is important to him is that his baby has a comfortable home to stay in. Lucas apologizes for everything and states that he has learned his lesson. About looking for a job, he explains that he will go the next morning to hand out resumes. In order for the child to stay with Jennifer, he has organized a bag with some important things, such as toys, diapers, milk and a few more things. Jennifer agrees to the conditions and once again promises that she will take care of the baby as if it were her own. Despite what has happened between the two of them in the past, such a small child does not deserve to suffer because of this, she emphasizes. The father tries to at least see the positive side. At this point it is time for him to leave, and for the little baby to be left to his ex-wife. Days later, Jennifer actually took care of Lucas' baby as if it were her own. She jokes that the child is very cute and must have pulled the mother, making fun of the father's appearance. Her cell phone then starts ringing and, speaking of him, the one calling is Lucas. She shows the baby. Jennifer puts the call on speakerphone. The man is in a different voice, heavier. He claims to have something very important to talk to her about. Jennifer questions what it is. He reveals that he is in another country, information that obviously surprises her. "What do you mean you left?" she shouts. Lucas says he is relieved to know that his baby is in good hands, under the care of a woman who will become an amazing mother. She is incredulous that he has the courage to have gone to another country and left his own son. Crying on the phone, he indicates that this was the best option and in the end everything will work out fine. He only asks for one more favor, that she in the future tell his son that his father loves him very much and will always love him. She tries to argue, but Lucas hangs up the phone and probably forever. Jennifer is in shock. She doesn't know what to do now. It was definitely not in her plans to become the mother of her unfaithful ex-husband's child. Numbing the baby, she talks to herself that Lucas' cowardice surprised her. His leaving without consulting her first is absurd. She takes a deep breath, tries to think calmly and decides to call her mother, the woman who is an example and support to her in the most difficult moments. Battling with herself to hold back the tears, Jennifer challenges her mother to guess what happened. She tells that Lucas, her ex-husband, left the country, abandoned his own son, and left the child in her care without consulting first. She confesses to being desperate and asks her mother for advice on what to do. Jennifer points out that at the moment she only has two options. The first option, which she did not consider until recently, is to adopt the baby. And the second option, which she is more inclined towards, is to hand the baby over to the guardianship council. The mother then asks if Jennifer loves this baby, and the woman confirms that yes, she already loves that child as if she were the mother. With this feeling in her heart, Jennifer's mother advises her to therefore keep the child. She agrees and is determined to take care of that baby as if it were really her child. Even though it is the child of her unfaithful ex-husband, Jennifer will adopt this boy and will give him the best life possible. She thanks her mother for the chat and hangs up the phone. Looking directly at the baby, she speaks the following words. "You are my child, do you understand? From this day forward you will be my child and you will have the happy life that any child deserves." And you, would you have the same attitude as her?